Have you ever noticed that as we get older, what we don't allow into our lives becomes just as important as what we do? Have you found that certain people, even those you've known for years, leave you feeling drained, anxious, or even resentful after spending time together? And here's the hardest part to admit. Sometimes these people aren't acquaintances or old friends. They might even be family. Today on Senior Health Boost, we're going to talk openly about something few seniors feel comfortable discussing: the 5 types of people you should avoid in your golden years, even if they're family. This isn't about being cold or cutting people out of your life recklessly. It's about protecting your emotional well-being, your peace of mind, and your right to enjoy this stage of life fully. Because after 65, life should be about quality, not guilt, obligation, or constant stress. So, stay tuned as we walk through these 5 types of people. You may be surprised at who makes the list, and before we begin, if you find topics like this helpful, I'd be honored if you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Senior Health Boost, and tap the notification bell so you'll never miss new insights designed to help you live stronger, healthier, and more peacefully through your later years. Now let's get started with someone who can disrupt your life in subtle but exhausting ways: the manipulator. The manipulator. When kindness is turned against you as we age, peace and emotional balance become more valuable than ever. You've likely worked hard all your life. You've supported your family, been there for your community, and given generously of your time and energy. But here's the challenge. Some people, knowingly or unknowingly, see this giving nature as something to exploit. Manipulators are often not the loud, obvious, toxic types. Instead, they appear to be vulnerable. They may lean on you for help, affection, or advice, often wrapped in a request that seems small and reasonable at first. And because you've spent decades as the strong one in your family or circle, your first instinct is to say yes. After all, it feels good to help. But little by little, those requests grow. Picture this. You're finally enjoying a peaceful morning with a cup of coffee and a good book. Then the phone rings. A relative or friend needs a quick favor. Of course, you help. But soon they call again and again, always needing something, always implying that you're the only one they can turn to. And when you hesitate, the guilt trips begin. I guess I can't count on you anymore. You've changed. Suddenly, your well-deserved peace of mind is replaced by worry, obligation, and exhaustion. Why this matters: as a senior, your energy is a precious resource. And when you're spending it on manipulative relationships, you rob yourself of the joy and relaxation you've earned. Manipulators are experts at making you feel guilty for setting limits. But here's the truth. Saying no is not selfish. It is self-care. When you draw clear boundaries, you protect your autonomy and preserve your time for the people and activities that truly enrich your life. How to handle it. If you notice someone repeatedly draining your time or emotional energy, start practicing firm, simple responses. I'm sorry, I can't help this time. You do not need to over-explain. You do not owe anyone an apology for taking care of yourself. And take a moment to reflect honestly. Does this person bring more peace or more stress into my life? Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not manipulation, not guilt, not obligation. Now, if manipulators can drain your energy quietly, the next type of person we'll discuss can impact you even more deeply by constantly bringing negativity and discouragement into your daily life. And sometimes this person may be someone very close to you. Let's explore that next. If someone can quietly sabotage your emotional well-being by making everything about themselves, would you even notice it happening? In our last segment, we explored why setting boundaries with manipulators is essential for preserving your peace and happiness. Now, let's turn to another type of draining relationship that can quietly creep into your golden years: the self-absorbed person or the narcissist. And believe me, This one can be tricky to spot, especially for kind-hearted seniors who value harmony and connection. 2. The self-absorbed. The narcissist. As we grow older, life offers us a beautiful opportunity to reflect, connect more deeply with those we care about, and share the wisdom and memories we've gathered. But not every person in your life contributes to this meaningful exchange. In fact, some seem incapable of seeing beyond their own world, where your presence serves more as an audience than a participant. You may recognize them, family members, old friends, or acquaintances who somehow turn every conversation back to themselves. Imagine this. You sit down at a family gathering, eager to share a memory from years gone by, a joyful moment from raising your children, a travel adventure, or a personal accomplishment. You start telling your story, only to be interrupted. "Oh, that reminds me of when I..." And suddenly, it's no longer about you. You patiently wait, hoping to finish your story. But before you can speak again, the conversation veers back to their latest vacation, their latest accomplishment, their worries. Over time, this pattern becomes clear. Your role in their world is to listen, not to be heard. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Narcissistic individuals, whether they realize it or not, often consume the emotional air in the room. Their need for validation and attention outweighs any genuine curiosity about others. They dominate discussions, minimize your experiences, and leave you feeling unseen. And here's the danger for seniors. As we age, connection matters more than ever. You've lived a life rich with experience, stories, and hard-earned wisdom. You deserve relationships that honor your voice and your presence. But narcissists leave little room for this kind of meaningful exchange. They can erode your self-esteem, over time, making you feel as though your life and your stories matter less. Recognizing this dynamic is the first step toward protecting your emotional well-being. How can you tell if you're dealing with a self-absorbed person? They constantly steer the conversation toward themselves. They dismiss or minimize your achievements or struggles. They lack empathy when you share feelings or concerns. They rarely express genuine curiosity about your life. And here's the tricky part. Many narcissists are charismatic and charming. They know how to draw people in. Initially, you may feel flattered by their attention or impressed by their energy. But with time, their self-centered tendencies become impossible to ignore. So, what can you do? First, set gentle but firm boundaries. If you notice the conversation constantly being redirected, try steering it back. "I'd like to finish what I was sharing. It's important to me." If your feelings are dismissed, "I hear what you're saying, but this moment matters to me too." You're not trying to change them. You're protecting your space within the interaction. Second, surround yourself with people who truly listen and care. Seek out relationships that are mutual, where empathy and respect flow both ways. These may be friends, supportive family members, or even new connections through community groups. Relationships should leave you feeling seen, valued, and energized, not invisible or drained. Third, release the need to please or accommodate the narcissist. This can be the hardest part, especially if it's a long-standing relationship. But remember this, their behavior is not a reflection of your worth. Their inability to see you clearly does not diminish the richness of your life. You do not owe them your emotional energy. Letting go of this need is liberating. You reclaim your time, your joy, and your space to foster relationships that truly matter. Life is too precious, especially now, to spend it shrinking in the shadow of someone else's ego. In your golden years, every moment is an opportunity to connect deeply, to feel joy, to be celebrated for who you are. And anyone who can't honor that doesn't deserve a front row seat in your life. So remember this, your stories matter, your voice matters, your feelings matter, you matter. Don't let anyone, even the most self-absorbed person, take that. Truth from you. And speaking of relationships, there's another type of dynamic that can quietly drain your peace, one that may not show up in loud, dominating ways, but in subtle guilt trips and emotional manipulation that leave you doubting yourself. Curious to know what it is? Stick with me as we explore this next hidden trap that too many seniors unknowingly allow into their lives. You'll want to hear this one. You've already begun reclaiming your peace by choosing not to let critics control your self-worth. Now let's turn to a different kind of challenge that can also quietly drain your joy. Those who refuse to take responsibility for their own lives. 4. The irresponsible. In this golden chapter of life, when you should be savoring freedom, pursuing passions, and enjoying the fruits of your many years, the last thing you need is to carry the weight of others who will not carry their own. And yet, irresponsible people, whether they are family members, old friends, or casual acquaintances, often have a way of pulling you into their chaos. They bring drama where there should be calm, guilt where there should be contentment, and endless requests where you had hoped for simplicity. Over time, their refusal to take accountability can leave you emotionally depleted and, in many cases, financially strained as well. Picture this. You have a family member who constantly lands themselves in trouble. Perhaps it's financial distress, poor life choices, or personal conflicts. Again and again, they turn to you expecting rescue, expecting money, time, and emotional energy. At first, you may help out of love. You may step in because that's what caring people do. But when help becomes expectation, when their problems keep recurring because they refuse to take responsibility, it's no longer an act of kindness. It's an erosion of your peace. I've spoken with countless seniors who have shared similar stories. A grown child who keeps making poor financial choices and expects mom or dad to keep bailing them out. A friend who is always borrowing money with no intention of repaying it. A sibling who repeatedly stirs family conflicts, expecting you to mediate and fix the damage. In each of these situations, one truth remains. You are not responsible for the choices of others. You've spent decades living responsibly, making sacrifices and building stability. You've earned the right to protect your well-being now. But here's the hard part. Setting boundaries with irresponsible people, especially loved ones, can feel guilt-inducing. They may call you selfish or cold. They may pressure you, reminding you of all the times you were there for them. That's why I encourage you to remember this. Saying no to toxic expectations is not selfish. It is self-preserving. You are not helping anyone by allowing them to remain dependent and irresponsible. In fact, you're enabling their behavior and harming yourself in the process. When faced with an irresponsible request, try a response like this. I care about you, but I am no longer in a position to support this pattern. I know you are capable of handling this yourself. It's firm, it's respectful, and it puts responsibility where it belongs, with them. Of course, the guilt may still creep in, but remind yourself of this truth. You deserve peace. You've earned these years. You don't have to trade your stability for someone else's lack of discipline. And remember, boundaries are an act of love, not just for yourself, but for the other person as well. By refusing to rescue them endlessly, you are giving them the space to grow, to learn responsibility, and to face their own choices. Seek out relationships that bring mutual respect and balance, not ones that pull you back into cycles of frustration. Surround yourself with those who inspire you, who respect your boundaries, and who add joy to your life. The beauty of later life is that you can finally choose whom to let in. Choose those who uplift you, not those who drain you. And now, my friend, we turn to a final type of person you should watch for as you protect your peace and joy in this next chapter of life. They may seem charming at first glance, but if you're not careful, they can be the ones who erode your spirit from the inside out. Let's explore that next. It tells you that your time, your effort, your care, all of which come from a place of love, are somehow not enough, not valued, or worse, taken for granted. And for seniors who have spent a lifetime giving, teaching, nurturing, and sacrificing, that unspoken dismissal can cut deep. Ungrateful people often operate from a place of entitlement. They expect your generosity as a given, not as a gift. Over time, this breeds resentment. You may start to feel reluctant to give, to help, or even to engage with them. The joy of contributing fades, replaced by dread or obligation. And here's the dangerous part. If this dynamic goes unchecked, it can erode your sense of self-worth. You may begin questioning whether your efforts have ever mattered, when in truth, they have. They mattered to those who truly saw them. They mattered to those whose lives were shaped by your presence, even if not all of them had the maturity to say, "Thank you." How do you handle the ungrateful, especially when they are family, lifelong friends, or people you still care about? The first step is recognizing that their lack of gratitude reflects their limitations, not your value. Their inability to acknowledge your contributions is not an indictment of your worth. It is a mirror of their own inner lack. Next, understand that healthy giving must flow from choice, not guilt or obligation. Give because it brings you joy, not because you're hoping for approval or validation. And when you choose to give, set clear emotional boundaries. If you notice that someone repeatedly dismisses your kindness or takes it for granted, pull back. It is okay to protect your heart. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. Speak gently but firmly. I notice that when I do these things, they aren't always appreciated. It makes me feel unvalued. If that continues, I may need to step back. Often this can be a wake-up call. If it isn't, that's your signal to prioritize your own peace. Remember, gratitude is not about elaborate gestures. A simple thank you is enough. And when it is absent, especially chronically, you have every right to adjust how much energy you give to that relationship. In these golden years of your life, your energy and time are precious. Surround yourself with those who uplift, appreciate, and reciprocate. Be generous, yes, but never at the cost of your inner peace. And, speaking of peace, sometimes one of the most corrosive forces in our lives is not the ungrateful, but those who constantly compete, compare, and tear others down. In the next section, we'll explore one more type of person you may want to distance yourself from as you protect your heart and joy in this chapter of life. If you've stayed with me so far, I deeply appreciate your presence here. Please type the number 4 in the comments below, just so I know you're here, engaged, and walking this journey with me. Let's continue together because what comes next may surprise you. It's a behavior that often hides behind smiles, but quietly drains your spirit if you let it. If the idea of raw sprouts in your salad gave you pause, this last message may feel even more personal, because it isn't just about what's on your plate anymore. It's about something deeper, your relationships, your peace of mind, and how you choose to live each moment moving forward. We've talked about protecting your heart from harmful foods, but what about protecting your heart emotionally? You see, gratitude, or the lack of it, can have as profound an impact on your well-being as any hidden salt or sneaky bacteria. When you've spent decades caring for others, giving love, support, and kindness, the sting of being unappreciated can weigh heavily on your spirit. It chips away at joy, clouds moments that should be cherished, and quietly drains the vitality you work so hard to preserve. But here's the truth I want you to take to heart. Another person's ingratitude is not a reflection of your worth. Their inability to see the value of your care speaks to their own limitations, not to the incredible gift you bring to this world. You deserve to be surrounded by those who cherish your love, respect your wisdom, and honor the years you've devoted to nurturing and supporting others. So, how do you begin protecting this most precious part of yourself? It starts with self-awareness. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment if it comes. Your emotions are valid. Don't dismiss them. But what matters more is how you respond next. One powerful step is to honestly reflect on the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, does this person bring value and warmth to my days? Do they respect and appreciate what I give? If the answer is no, then it may be time to set clear boundaries. And remember, this isn't about cutting people off in anger. It's about protecting your energy. If someone consistently takes but doesn't give, if they deplete your spirit instead of uplifting it, you have every right to gently step back. Here's an example. Instead of going out of your way to accommodate someone who shows little appreciation, refocus that energy on what brings you joy, whether it's hobbies, time with those who do value you, or simply embracing moments of peace for yourself. And if they question this shift, calmly explain, I'm focusing on what nurtures my happiness now. I hope you can understand. You are not being selfish. You are practicing self-respect. At the same time, choose to nurture relationships that do. Enrich your life, those beautiful connections where love, kindness, and gratitude flow freely in both directions. Whether it's a close friend, a neighbor, a fellow volunteer, these are the people who will nourish your soul and remind you why your kindness matters. And just as important, reflect on why you give. True generosity comes not from seeking validation, but from love itself. When you reconnect with that purpose, you free yourself from depending on others' reactions. You give because it brings you peace and fulfillment. But make no mistake, this is not an invitation to tolerate disrespect or exploitation. Your kindness is a gift. It is not a right that others can demand. Protect it. Value it. As you move through this beautiful chapter of life, take time to celebrate your own efforts. Remind yourself often of the love, thoughtfulness, and strength you continue to offer, whether or not others acknowledge it, because the most important recognition is the one you give yourself. Your worth is not diminished by others' ingratitude. It shines through in every act of love you've given, every life you've touched, and every legacy of kindness you've created. And by choosing to surround yourself with those who respect you and setting boundaries with those who don't, you reclaim your joy. You ensure that these golden years of your life are filled with the peace, appreciation, and fulfillment you so deeply deserve. Protecting your peace, that is the gift you owe yourself. You have spent a lifetime giving to others. Now is the time to give that same love and care to yourself. As we grow older, our priorities shift. We seek connection, meaning, and a life filled with relationships that honor our worth. That's why learning to walk away from toxicity is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of wisdom. You've built a beautiful life. You've earned every moment of peace and happiness that you choose to embrace now. Let go of relationships that drain you. Pour your energy into those that bring you joy and mutual respect. Life is far too precious, and your heart too valuable to spend it weighed down by those who cannot see your worth. And remember this, your happiness is your responsibility. Your peace is your legacy. By choosing wisely who you welcome into your life, you create a sanctuary, a space where love, respect, and gratitude flourish, a space where you can thrive. So as we close today's message, I invite you to take a moment to reflect, what is one step you will take today to protect your peace? Who in your life truly lifts you up? And how can you spend more time with them? If this video has resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. What did you take away from this message? What will you apply in your own life? I read every comment and love seeing this community of wise, caring individuals support one another. And if you found this video helpful, please like it. It truly helps us bring more inspiring content to you. Subscribe to Senior Health. Boost and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a tip or message designed to help you thrive in your golden years. Share this video with a friend or loved one, because sometimes One simple message can be the turning point someone needs. Thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. And remember, you are not done, not even close. The most beautiful chapters of your life may still be ahead, and you deserve to live them with peace, joy, and the love of those who truly see you. Until next time, this is Senior Health Boost, wishing you health, happiness, and a heart full of gratitude. I'll see you in the next video.